Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Andrew Townsend. I'm an e-learning evangelist here with eLearning Brothers. Today we're going to be talking about improving your graphics quality and storyline. This webinar will be recorded. We'll get a copy of it emailed out to everybody shortly after the webinar later today. We'll also be posting this on our blog later in the week. If you have questions during the webinar, we'll be ready to answer your questions in the questions panel, and I'll try to bring up questions to our presenter as well as we can. So feel free to use that questions panel as you need it. We'll get to as many of the questions as we can. If we can't get to some of your questions, we'll do our best to continue the conversation in the webinar recap or get those questions answered in the follow-up email later today. Presenting for us today, we have Alan Marquez, one of our developers with us. Thank you so much, Alan, for your time, and we're excited to hear what you have to say. Also, just so you know, one of the things that we like to do after the webinar is try to follow up as soon as possible. Sometimes it's just to get feedback. Most of the time we do want to touch base and find out if anyone needs some one-on-one clarification about the webinar topic after the fact, or a lot of times to reach out and make sure that the questions that you asked were answered. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you, Alan, and I'll pass the screen to you as well.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks everyone for joining this webinar. I'm really excited to be hosting today. Today I want to like to show you some tips or some helpful advice about how to make your presentation, your storyline files look great for development, but with a twist of graphic design. First, I would like to download one of our templates that will be our base for today's work. So this is the jet lag 3-panel click or bell interaction. So sometimes we as developers / designers, we want our interactions, our e-learnings to look really good. But how can we do this if we don't have like a design software like Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator? Today, I will use Illustrator for small purposes, but this will help your interactions, your e-learning to look really good. But also, I'm going to convert these graphics to look, really great using just a storyline. Okay, so this is our this will be our base. One of the things that I love about this theme that we have at the eLearning library is that it's pretty basic, it's pretty flat, so we can modify it as we want. So I have here a style guide. This is how we work most of the time here at eLearning Brothers when developing templates. We have this a graphic style guide where we can just copy all of our assets or takes our color palette to make it look really great on, in this case, a storyline. As you can see, there are just 4 slides, but I want to transform or to convert this in storyline. Okay, so how can we do this? Of course, you can get this interaction in our library. Okay, so the first thing that you as a developer need to do is to look for the color palette. You have to create your own color themes in order to have all your colors in the file. So how can we do this? Okay, I will do this the way I usually do it. I'm going to open my style guide and I can see my color swatches. Okay, so what can I do? I'll go to the design tab and then I'll open this color section to create a new color theme. This is very important because if we don't set our colors, before we start working, then it's going to be complicated later. So what I'm really interested is on the accent colors, right? So let me try to get this right, because I will just use the eyedropper to create this. Okay, so let's create create new theme colors. Okay, then I'll click here and I will use the eyedropper to copy the color, and I will do this for all of the other colors. So I will have my color palette, completed. Okay, we can have like 2 more colors here. Remember, it is very important to have our style guide in the storyline file. Ooh, what happened? Something happened. Oh, sorry, wait a sec. This is it. I will name it, I would say Coffee Tree, because this is the name of my theme. Okay, so I have the Coffee Tree theme should appear here. Awesome. So we have the base. And we can save out this theme as a separate theme file if we wanted to use this style guide on a different file. So we'll do that by saving current theme with another name. Let's say, let me put this in my folder, Coffee Tree. Okay, so I have my theme. Okay, as you can see, some of my graphics has changed color because of the new theme. This will happen, it's not a big deal, but I'm gonna close this file. I don't wanna save anything. Let's think that we are starting a new file without this step. I would like to import this theme into the file. Awesome, so this is the original template file. So let's go to the design tab. Let's click here and let's load or browse our theme, which is in this folder, and Coffee Tree SL. This is the theme file. I'll open it. Okay, so I have the colors. Not everything changed, but that's not a big deal. We can change that later. As you can see now in my format tab, my colors, my theme colors will appear, at the top of the theme bar. So I can start changing everything. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I like the most about this template is that it's super customizable. Okay, so that's first thing, one of the first things that I like to that I do now. Then what is the next step? What can we do to make this file looks like like our style guide? So we like to start with some gradients on the shapes and on my custom shapes, because this is, one of the things that we as designers or developers want to make our presentation looks great. So this gradient option, sometimes we are a little scared of using it, but if you know the right way to use it, it's gonna look really, really interesting. For example, if I change this field to gradient instead only field, well, I can create like 2 steps gradient. I will delete one step to make it more simple, and we can change the direction, maybe something more like, which is better, right 0. Okay, first step, I'm gonna show the darker color, and the second step, I'm gonna pick the lighter color. Okay, so yeah, I like this better. So it looks like the color palette of my style guide. Then I wanna change the, which is the font. So some of these steps you maybe already know them, like how to change the caption. Okay, let's see if that looks like the template. So it's still a bit different, but no worries. We can change this. Perfect. So if we look at our style guide, it has a click and reveal 3-panel interaction, but it's a different arrangement. Well, this is not a big deal. So what I want to show you really is how to make your graphics or your picture look great. So for example, this interaction, let me show you how it works. You just a click and reveal interaction, where we can put some spice on it. Bit slow, bit slow.
Alan, while this is loading, there's a quick question.
Awesome.
What version of Storyline are you using right here?
Oh yeah, I'm using a Storyline 3. That's a really good question, Andrew, because one of the things I will show you in a moment is a feature that it's only available on Storyline 3 for now. So this is very important. Just one thing I'm going to show you today, that it's only for Storyline 3, but you can use, or you can do most of these on previous versions.
Okay, so most of this is compatible with Storyline 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
Thanks. Oh, well, I just I just closed the previous visualization, but no worries. So I went to when these templates that are uploaded to our library contains images, contains fonts, contain I mean all kind of graphics, so you can edit them or just replace them, like this image here. I will change the image that's in here. So this is very easy. We just right click and change the pictures. So I have my pictures here on my folder. Let me just look for a nice coffee picture. Okay, so this is a bit bigger, a bit smaller, but no worries. We can use the crop option in the format tab to, that's it. I'll move it. Okay, looks good there. But we added a shape on top of it. Why we put a shape on top of it? Okay, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes when the design team uh, gave us give us the style guide, there are a lot of overlays, there are a lot of gradients that are fusion or that are has special effects on it, and sometimes it's really difficult to replicate these effects on Storyline if we don't know how to make this. But this will be pretty simple and it will actually look really great. So I will create a new shape, even if I mean I have one here, but you can create your own shape if you want it on the shape button. There you go. And I will format this. I usually format this by right clicking on it and format panel. So again, I will add a gradient fill because this looks really great. And I will change well, I will delete first the third step. I don't need a third step. Okay, first step, second step, and I will add a new color. Okay, let's say that we add this yellow color. Okay, looks not really good. Okay, let me increase the stop position. Okay, and I will reduce the transparency by 50% on this. See, now it looks different. So on the first one, and yeah, I will. Okay, so I have an interest effect added to my photography that will look similar or will look exactly like it's in my style guide, or all their style guide that we have, right? I can even add a new stop. I like, maybe we need a new stop just to make it look a bit more, colorful. And I can change the transparency on this one. So I have a nice overlay on my image. Let me remove the outline. I won't need it. Awesome. That looks really great. Okay. So, well, this box also changed color. I will use the standard black color that I added. And I will change this font just to make it look different. Perfect. Okay, what's the next step? So I will also add a gradient to my buttons. because, well, it kind of looks a little bit flat. So this theme is about having more gradients or overlays on the assets, in the assets. So let's do this, the same formatting, or at least a similar one on the buttons. Remember, gradient field. So we'll go a little bit faster on this one so we can move into some other things. Okay, let me delete this. Maybe I can just check my style guide and see how our buttons are set. See, this is a lighter green to a darker green. So, okay. Let's change the direction, something more vertical. Oh, okay, that looks really great. I'm not gonna use transparency on this one yet. So I will change this font to be Montserrat, which is the style guide font. Okay, we'll remove the bold option and the outline. Perfect. Okay. So then I will modify the overlay, the hover state. Oh, it's a good thing that it saved the previous configuration, so I won't have to do this again. And because this is an overlay button state, I will just, I can't remember what was here. What was in here? So it's 50%. So let me, okay, 50% on the first one and 50% on the second one. Well, you know my point. You know what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I added now a hover state for this one. Okay, so I have a disabled state for interaction. I actually don't need it. I will delete it. And I will change the selected state. This is really important. Let's take a look at how our selected state looks like. So it's a darker gradient, so we can use our darker colors, something like this. Okay, much better. So the selected state didn't copy the previous font that I used, so I'll have to put this manually, but it's a simple step. Sorry about that. Sorry, it was actually bold. Okay. So, well, you can have a down state if you want. So it's not really important for the purposes of this webinar. Okay, so we have our three or four states done. Let's see how this looks in the preview, because the next step is really important. Okay, looks nice. I have this issue here, but no big deal, because I made a mistake. Okay, but I have these icons that are in my button. So how can I add these icons to make them look, really special? This template. I'll have to increase this a bit. Okay, perfect. So what you normally, would do is to import your assets, your PNGs, your JPGs, to create different buttons states. But that's, like the old school way, Now with Storyline 3, we can create our own custom graphics, or we can our custom graphics that are totally customizable. I mean, you can change the color, you can change the size, like it's a vector file. We can have this new feature on Storyline 3. So let's open our resource folder, and I'll have some EPS. EPS is a vector format that you can that you can open with Storyline, sorry, with Illustrator. This is the only part of the webinar when we are going to use Illustrator. But this step, if you have like a friend or some relative that has Illustrator, they can help you out and they can do this for you. So it's you know, I know it's like, well, I don't have Illustrator. What options do I have? But you can create your own assets library, you know, for using Illustrator only one time for a specific course, of course. Okay, so I have a vector file here, which is totally, you know, I can change the color, I can change everything. I will ungroup it. Sometimes this happens, so don't worry. The things that we remove all of the bounding boxes and just change the color of this. It really doesn't matter the, you know, the color. What matters is the exportation process that we'll do here. So please pay attention at this. So I'm gonna export this graphic as, and let's, okay, yes, as enhanced meta file. Enhanced meta file is a vector file that, sorry, a vector format that is now recognized by Storyline. So this is a good thing, a really game changer thing. Okay, so as simple as this, I will now import this from the Insert tab, and see the icon is now different. It's like an old, you know, Microsoft icon, Paint icon. Okay, I have my icon installed, inserted. Well, I still can't do anything to it, only, you know, scale it. If I change the fill of this, it will just fill the box around it. I will have to break this graphic. How can I break it? Just right click on it, and in group, I will just click the ungroup option. So now, where is it? It's in the back. Yeah, this is my group, my coffee. Let's say name it coffee mug. And now I can change the color of this. So this is really, really amazing because I can modify the size and it won't lose the quality, the you know, the difference between a PNG and a vector file is that you can increase the increase the size of your graphic and it won't lose quality when it's exported out. So preview, publish it out. So it will look really great. Okay, so what's the point of doing this? You're asking me maybe. Well, I want to insert this graphic into my button. So let me just move the formatting to the left and add some in, yeah, something like that. So my button looks really on position. Oops, okay. So I will go to my object. Oh, well, maybe before this step, I can use the same settings of this button into the other two other buttons by just clicking the Format Painter button on Home and just click on the second button. I will automatically copy the same style. So this is also a really, really good trick. All right, so let's paste. Remember that I copy this? Okay, no, let's paste this. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit tricky sometimes because this is a small group that I paste in the button. But yeah, just a bit of practice and you will be just all right. 1, 2. I can also use the same color using this caption. There you go. maybe put a different color on this. Perfect. And let's preview this. No, it's faster this time. Ooh, see? Now I have a custom button using vector-like images. And it looks really, really, really nice. Okay, so remember this exportation process. I will do a couple of other examples in a minute.
We have a few questions that have come up, Alan.
Yes, please, Andrew.
Okay, so all of the changes that you just showed us with an EMF file and changing an EPS to an EMF file, is this possible in Storyline 2, or is this one of the Storyline 3 only tricks?
This is one of the Storyline tricks new features. So yeah, so what I would do in Storyline 2, well, you have to, to create your own PNGs or just download PNGs to use this. So in the past, it was a bit, a bit difficult to modify the colors, but now it's simpler with this importation process. Only for Storyline 3. Yeah.
What about Storyline 360? Does it work the same as Storyline 360?
To be honest, I don't know. We can have this information for after the webinar, for the recap. Okay. We can check that. Yeah, no thanks.
We'll do that. And then one other question that came up regarding your color palettes.
Yeah.
It only gives you 5 colors to create in a color theme or a color palette. Is there a way to add more colors to that option?
Yes, well, this is the design tab, right? Okay, so when you create your own theme, yeah, you only have like 6 accent color, but you have like 2 more custom colors that you can add. So you have 8 colors plus the hyperlink color that is not important, well, for this purpose. But you also have the text and background colors that I didn't change because I don't want my stage to change colors. So you can also use this for a customized theme. Yeah, you can also use them, but I will just use the accents and the custom 1 and 2.
Excellent. All right, those are all the questions we have at this time.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, where were we? Okay, I created, maybe if I copy the style, it will also copy the icon. Oh, awesome, so I don't have to, insert these icons again. Let me save this file, guys, because sometimes it could be a bit unexpected. Okay, let's see what's next. So one of the other features that I want to show you today is related to how can we use our own illustration, our own graphics, just like I did with the icons. Let's say that we have, let me see where I put this. That we have our illustrations, right? That we use, that we got from some image searching, and I want to use this, but I also want to change the color. So this is a 2-step thing, but you will like it, guys. So let me just drag this into a Storyline file. It doesn't matter which file is it. And I will need this to be a vector, right? But I won't start tracing this because it's a lot of time. So we have an option in Adobe Illustrator where we can trace the image. What trace means is that you can turn this into a vector using the image trace button here. But if you click on the arrow, you can use different configurations. Let's say that I wanted just black and white logo, okay? And I will start vectorizing the image, and then I'll have to click the expand button, because if I don't click expand, I won't be able to ungroup this, and I really need this to ungroup it so I can remove the background. See? Okay, I can delete that. Let's do it one more time. It's not too difficult, but I know this is a two-step process. Okay, I place my image inside Illustrator, then I click the black and white logo and I click image trace. Perfect. I will ungroup this and delete the background and also the white filling because I need this to be only a stroke or outline. Okay, you will have more time to do this the right way. There are not many white traces. Okay, so I will use this button that is named Artboard Tool to select the image and create their own artboard area so I can export only this graphic. This is, a very important step. Click the artboard tool and click on, whatever part of the illustration, and it will create a box around it so you can export it as a EMF file. What I did before was just insert the EPS or vector file. Now I create the vector and then I will have to export it as EMF. So one of the things that I forgot to explain to you is that I have to delete this artboard because it will also take the cup. So one item at the time. And now I can export this, export as, let's say, barista. There you go. Okay, let's get rid of this content. This is part of our template, but I don't want text on this. I just want the picture of a barista. So I will insert a picture, click barista. Yeah, now I have my vector like image, but I have to ungroup this. Just right click on it, group, ungroup. Oh, what happened? Guys, I missed the image. I don't know what happened. Let me see if I can find it. There you go. Sometimes that happens. It switches places. I don't know why. Remember, this is a new feature, so it could be a bit unstable, but works really great most of the time. So I really, to be honest, this option was a game changer for me because I'm also a designer and I want my courses or my learnings to look really great. Yeah, you can click the more fill colors and I will open the expanded theme bar and you can choose a different color. Well, let's see what's on the style guide. Maybe I'll have some inspiration. Oh, I don't have a graphic. Oh, here. See, I have my graphics here. I will just use the standard green color that I have here. Awesome. So let's preview this. Oh, I have another image here that I can modify. Okay, so it worked. So it will take some time to make it look like the template, but I know you're getting the idea. All right, let's now change the image that I have here. So I will just repeat what I did before. I will move the overlay shape that I have on top of it. I will replace the image by clicking the right click on change picture. And I will use a different image for this. Oh, that looks really great. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Right click, format shape. You can use gradient fill. And let's change the color here. Well, maybe we can use a different color. We've been using a lot of green, lighter green here. Okay, remember that you can modify the transparency to create the overlay effect, just like in Photoshop or Illustrator. This transparency option is really important to create this awesome effect. Oh, maybe not that much. Format shape. Say 25%. I want it to be more yellowish on the top. Okay. Let's say 35. Awesome. Let's take a look at our interaction, our style guide, sorry. Okay, we have basically covered most of the style guide. So I know you're getting the idea for this. We can have, or we can have our layout with no colors, with no, a really style on it. We can always get inspired by some, graphics on the internet, or some concept, or some themes. In this case, it was a cafeteria or a coffee bar, and we can replicate these awesome effects that are made on Photoshop or Illustrator just using a storyline. Let me create quickly a new slide, because this slide I would like to be the intro of my interaction. Okay, we can move that later. So if we take a look at our style guide, this is like basically the process that we use when we're creating templates. I always get inspired by but what our design designs for our templates. These guys are really great. So I will use my color picker or my eyedropper tool to select the color. This is on Illustrator, and I will copy the color code. This is very important because I can just create a custom shape. I'm doing this on the front. You can also do this using the feedback master, but I'm using this here. Okay, and on color, you can paste, sorry, the color code, and perfect. I'll just return. Let's do one more thing, guys. Maybe we can repeat what I did before so it's clearer. I can insert an image. Let's just have a different graphic on this. Let's image trace it. Black and white logo. This EMF process that I'm showing you guys works better with flat graphics, graphics that doesn't contain a lot of gradients or colors, because when they break on storyline, you can miss some information or some colors. Okay, remember this new option is only available on storyline 3, so it's a new one, but I'm pretty sure I will improve with the time. So let's say black and white logo again. Let's expand this. Let's ungroup this and remove the background. We can get rid of the white spaces. Okay, I think that's good. And I will create a new artboard. Delete the previous one and export this as an EMF file. Picture, and barista. Where's my barista? Here. Okay, right click, group, ungroup, so it's lost again. Let's see, yeah, I can just fill it with another color. Yeah, perfect. Let me block this a bit. So remember, when you ungroup your EMF file, it will create layers beneath, so you can also modify specific layers, or yeah, layers of your illustration. Yeah, I like that color. Let's say just white, okay? And you can also modify the transparency of the whole thing to make it look a bit more like the template. Sorry, like the style guide. It's always confusing in Storyline. The percentage. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look. Oh, I forgot the logo. Sorry, guys, I forgot the logo. Let me just import the PNG logo for this one. Of course, you can also do this process to have your own logo imported as a graphic, but I won't do that this time. Okay, let's put this here because I want to show you something really cool. Now that you have your own group EMF image, you can add some animation to every layer so it will look really good in the preview. Okay, I have like 22 layers, and I can add a specific or different effects on each of these layers. So I will just make some changes on this so you will get the better idea. And you can customize every animation of this. Let's put this in split so you will see at the preview what I'm talking about. I'm sure you have the idea right now. But they will all enter at the same time. Let's open our timeline and let's move some of these layers a bit. Okay, I guess that's totally fine now. Let me get rid of these triggers. And let me add a trigger that jumps to the first slide. That's it. Let's preview this slide. See, it's just a small animation that I did here, but I know, guys, you will create awesome animations for your courses using this tool and using these options. Let me just show you one more thing for this webinar and we'll be ready. Oh, yeah, I forgot this was my first scene. Let's select this one. See? Perfect. Okay, last thing I will show you today. I know I have here an emoji that I would like to import. I believe it's feelings called feelings. Let's open this. Awesome. So I mentioned to you before that I prefer to use flat items and make them EMF graphics. But what happens when I don't have a flat graphic? I have like this emoji that has 3, 4, or 5 different colors. Well, the process is the same, but it will change a bit in the storyline. So let's see. You have to again export it. Really important. Exporting as let's say emoji, so I don't get confused. Enhance meta file. Perfect. And let's import it here on my second layer. Let's move this. Emoji. Okay, is it still not broke? Let's break it. Group on group. See? This happens when I have more information on the image. Oh, where's the face? Okay, no worries. We'll figure it out. Oops. Please don't die. Okay. So I will just ungroup this again so I can move my layer back and forth. Send to back. Yeah. Now I have again my face, the face of the emoji. Perfect. And now I can group all of these free forms together to have my graphic with color, and I can use it for whatever purpose I want. Sorry guys, you can see it. Okay. You can make it smaller. Oops. I think I forgot to group one of the forms, free forms. Or maybe I forgot to group everything. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of forgot some of the shapes. Okay, but you know what I'm trying to do. Let's create another group. Remember, this is a new feature, and it's just a bit difficult, but not much. Awesome. My emoji looks great, even after I make it smaller. Yeah. Let's put some animation on it. Grow. So when I click on the second button, it will animate. Awesome. Okay, guys, so this is everything that I have to show you today. I hope you have learned something. I hope you enjoy it. You know, this doesn't look like the style guide, but you get the idea, right? So this is basically our process. We create our own style guides, and then we transform this into a storyline file, and we upload our own assets into our library. So you know a bit more about how to create awesome, e-learning assets using Storyline and Illustrator. So I know this information will be really, really helpful for you in your developers, things that you always do. Andrew, do we have questions? What's next?
Let me go ahead and take the screen back for a moment here. And we'll see if there's more questions coming in here. There's a few questions about alternatives to Illustrator. Do you know of any that people can use off the top of your head?
Yeah, there are some open source vector softwares that you can use. I can't remember the name right now, but one thing that I want to mention is that if you are on a Mac, working on a Mac, you will have to download the OpenOffice software, which is an open source software for creating PowerPoint slides or Word, so you can create the EMF files, because you can create, you know what, just scratch that, I'm totally wrong. I was referring about PowerPoint, and this is a storyline. So no, we're good. Even if you're on a Mac or on a PC, you can use this. And about the software alternative, yeah, there are some. I can't remember right now, but we can put that later.
Okay. Yeah, we'll dig some up and post them in our recap later in the week. The bottom line is there's a lot of people suggesting replacements for Photoshop, and that's great. Some of them can do the same things, but the exporting to EMF or reading EPS and other Illustrator skills may or may not work in Photoshop alternatives. So we'll try to find some Illustrator alternatives to talk about there.
Totally.
The style, the template style that Alan used today is one of our new styles. We've released these new packages called styles, where you can get essentially how many are there? Are there like 25, 30 templates inside of a style, Alan? Do you know?
Yeah, Yeah, something about that. We have, a lot of new templates using these styles, so they are totally customizable.
So you can grab one style where it all looks the same, but then I can't remember. It's got to be somewhere between 20 and 30 different type of interactions to use. So those are cool.
Yeah.
Take a look at those at elearningbrothers.com. If you'd like to see a demo of those styles or other templates, go ahead and send an email to info@elearningbrothers.com, or just give us a call, 801-796-2767. We'd love to show you around what's available there. Also, you can see up on the screen, ELBX is coming up June 11th. You can learn more about that on our website. It's our first users conference, so we're going to have tons of ELB users that are going to be there. We've got Dr. Michael Allen coming to speak, Angel Green from Coca-Cola. We've got Becky Willis coming as well. We've packed it with tons of great speakers, and we're also going to have a lot of our developers and designers there to talk to you about the development of our templates, how to use them, how to best dig into the tools and be very productive on that. Also, our custom shop will be there if you want to talk about creating custom courses. They'd be happy to talk to you about that there at ELBX. So come, and it's going to be a blast. It's going to be tons of fun. Thank you so much, Alan, for presenting for us today. Lots of useful information, and we'll continue this conversation later in the recap.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.